Good morning, everyone. Today is October 9th, and we're going to do the holistic review. And this is holistic with a W. This is the co-ops. This is the alternative healing methods, this community of everything that is going to happen through. So when this happens, and you have these large scale events, it really affects the community. And when it affects the community, they just still can't get it out on how bad it gets thrown under the bus. And when it gets thrown under the bus, you can't even do it or put a due date or how everything is going to be because you just can't even rent a place to actually do what you need to do. So when we do this, you have to upload everything and it's just blind faith, absolute blind faith. Judgment. No, I didn't lose any judgment, but I must do. So when I do this contentment order, you just gotta watch over. So hard. You can't even do it. So that is usually how they're speaking right now. You just can't do it. You just can't do it. You got the hurricane, you got the supplies, there's delays, then, you're out of your stuff, and then you got to go to the doctor, and then you got to get a prescription, and then you got to do this, and you just can't even do it. The sniffles, the cold just comes right on, so sick. But the Five of Swords says, it's really not too hard and heavy, and that is what the Five of Swords is really saying. But the Two of Wands says there is still a lookout of a foresight. There's no deal that you can't get through with the Six of Pentacles. It really is a weighing out in and out of options sometimes. But the Seven of Cups says, you know, there is something of a figuring out. The Queen of Pentacles says, no, no, there's no like greed or lust in this whatsoever. And I have to say, did you check your contracts? Did you check everything while you were sick? You still had to be on the up and up. It really can be hard. And that's where the community is just really not doing well. They're having a hard time recuperating with whatever came through. And they had this incident where they had issues trying to collaborate with other doctors to merge and join. But the Page of Pentacles says in reverse, there really wasn't nothing to be ado. Nothing. There is a new beginning, though. It really does start pretty fast. It's really good opportunity coming in. And we say this is actually pretty heartbreaking because I feel like there's some hidden motives. And we're starting that rant again. Yes. The Two of Pentacles says the money is balanced. It's good. It really is. The Seven of Swords says you can't get it done fast enough. What is this collaboration, this deal with all these instances of big scale coming in with the hurricanes, with politics, with cold and flu season, so we can actually be good and comfortable during the winter? It's really hard, but there's a lot of foresight. There really is. Again, when I'm looking at this contract, this is so bad. So then it goes into bonding, and they really don't like to talk about bonds. But when people actually bond their companies and their employments together, it's like a stick, and they stick together, they stick to their guns, and they run it around the same way. And sometimes lately, it's been a lack of monetary balance because they're just not running correctly. Is it a bad thing or a good thing to do a stick and a bond and a tie and a tether to a root? Not really. I mean, it is disappointing with the Five of Pentacles. It really isn't. But like I recommended from what I've been seeing through my divinations, It really is. And you just have to be picky and choosy. You really got to sit down with each other. If you're doing a business like co-op, like Reiki masters and massage therapy and meditative healing and yoga, stuff like that, some that are similar that you adhere to standards of practice. That's what they're really looking for. The Seven of Pentacles says, but you have to stand out. Well, how do you stand out? By still being an independent business owner. The Seven of Pentacles says that you need to have skilled work to a degree to complete out, to stand out in the world, but not really sometimes. Sometimes you do a little bit of creativity of your own. So when you see this, this is bad justice. And then you start saying some things. But in reality, no, no, that is the hint reality. Are they in reality? They really are. They really are. They're just not feeling well. The Knight of Wands says you must give a toast of it all. Yep. Still comfort foods. Still hang in there. Literally, something came in that is going to be good for them, even though it's the devil card. It really is. It's like, I think this is actually a good thing that we should be doing this. So the Eight of Swords says, no, I'm not congested. I'm actually acting how they're going to be probably in the next week. I see colds. I see GI bug, still remnant. I see a lot of natural healing, a lot of rest, but they're still putting it out there. And like, why is this pertinent to holistic? Because that's why they really don't go into the doctor. And then the doctor says you didn't make your yearly exam. Well, the Eight of Swords says I really didn't have to, but I had to go get a gun. Why? That like, no, somebody put that in my mouth. I was thinking of something else. Like, you're just not clear. You're just not clear on what it is. And I think you need to come in. No, no, logic. I have a lot of logic. I'm in the here and now. I'm good. I'm well, and I'm not gonna be fixated on it. I already know. Yep, you're doing well. Yep. Keep going, keep going. I think this is derogatory. I think it's not. The Eight of Cups says sometimes you don't have to read into it when they say these things. There's no play on words, really, with this community. They like sobriety. So when they hear that there was a run through and people had experience, they hunker down hard. And now with the hurricanes coming through, you have to say, no, it's even harder. We're picky and choosy because this Hierophant in reverse says there's going to be no dictating on what I do with my business. I have to preserve it to the highest extent to a degree. The Nine of Cups says they'll be content with everything with a November and a December. The Knight of Swords says, how, even if it's a loss? Yes, even if it's a loss. Knight of Swords says they're not going to do haste, but they're going to be hasty on their movements still. No celebrations. They're really not getting together. They're not really collaborating. No, they're really staying in their lane. They're really watching everything that they do in adherence to the law to get their wishes done. So let's move it over to a different tarot because I do see the energy of this is an upheaval of a chaos coming in the next week. All right, let's see this. I hear it's really hard to tell. I hear that it's really hard to sell. And I really hear a slowdown on customers. Yes, yes, that is what I had said too. That even with this, me being on the videos, it would actually slow down. Independent business owners would slow down. all the way through. Hunker down, hunker down. The Four of Swords in reverse is something that you can't understand well and why. To the Five of Swords in reverse, this is air energy. When we're going into Pentacle season with air energy that's hard, cold pressed, working your magic in this time of year, it slams people when you actually throw it through. So when you're actually being yourself, that is working your magic naturally, you have to think of balance. Just maybe one or two things. Just do what you got to do. Really, really. So when you see it and you go through, this truly is the Page of Pentacles in reverse. It's called the Son of Pentacles, and it is a buck. You can't, because you can't give an offering, a new offering, usually during the winter. You have to conserve, you have to preserve, you got to be hard press new and apply that into your business. The Eight of Cups means a broken chalice in this with darkness on the mountains. It's really not a bad thing. It really isn't. You can't even do this at all. How come? Really, you're going to find a lot of conflicts of interest in the next week, unfortunately. This is the Daughter of Wands, and it does hold still, which is equivalent to the Page of Wands. To read this through, they're going to come in quick, and I see a lot of hydration, a lot of hydration. A lot of vitamin C, a lot of vitamin D, a lot of soup this winter, a lot of resting and not fast pace. There is some sort of still coming in of the Hermit card of solitude and being not so much of a get together. And I don't know why we keep saying that, but when I see the road, and I see my area, I say, you just got to run through, you got to do what you got to do, and you got to get it done, D-O-N-E, in a timely fashion. I don't know why. I feel I see storm. I see storm. So basically, the Seven of Pentacles in reverse says it's a done deal. It's a done deal. Do what you got to do to get the job done. This is nasty female energy. And what I was talking about yesterday was that it was something from World War II that you can't contain or control, which makes it a black swan. What they were doing during the wars was so unbeknownst that you don't know what kind of cold you're going to get. You don't know what kind of infection or dirty deal that's going to come through with just energy. It's not something that's set in stone, and it's not to scare or fearmonger. Female energy, when it comes through on that timeline that you can't control, means it was uh like a sorceress, a high priestess. So when I go to the covens, because they really are part of the community to a degree, the pagans, the Vikings, the Wiccans, they have the seven of pentacles I'm seeing coming through, but I also see the Seven of Cups. It is almost kind of a grandiose thought, like I've been saying, grandiose thoughts to the Hierophant. Where is the source? Everyone's sitting here like, where is the source of these storms? Where is the source of these arrests? Because we still haven't had multiple arrests, like you said, Jennifer, from Sean Combs. Like I explained again, and I'm reiterating, when criminals like that, they sit there that big of a scale, they have to sit and watch. I bet you a ton of them are literally just sitting. They're just sitting. And that's it. And that's all you need to know. When I see the Hanged Man, there is, and that's all this community continues. Continue talking through all forms of communication, making positive connects and connections and contacts, everything that you continue doing, because this hangman means there's going to be a longer pause. The bat in reverse, who represents the hangman in that card, says it's going to be 6 to 9 rather than a 3 to a 4. So other than that, that's all I have to say. Keep doing what you're doing, holistic community on recovering, recuperating, and building towards those goals. That's all I've got to do. And that's all I've got to say. And that's all I hear. Have a good day, and we'll talk to you soon.